thing that comes. And his prediction was that we were, and I'll come to you here, Brett Weinstein, it's highly likely that we're going to have to deal with another pandemic of some sort, and it could be a lot more serious next time. But the lessons we learned with this actually could be very beneficial. Would you agree with that?
No. I think the chances that we will deal with another pandemic are actually, unfortunately, tightly correlated with our cryptic bioweapons research, disguised in the US as dual-use research. Were we to put dual-use research to bed, the chances of a serious pandemic that requires an intervention like a rapidly deployed mRNA vaccine is actually surprisingly low. And the stories that we use to justify such a response do not turn out to endure scrutiny. So, for example, the 1918 flu pandemic would not happen again today for two different reasons. One, many of the people who died were actually victims of a bacterial pneumonia that we can now treat with antibiotics. And two, aspirin was, at the time, a new wonder drug, and the dosages that were given to people who contracted the flu are doses that are now understood to be fatal. So if we rerun the tape of history and we say, how often do diseases leap from nature that require a radical intervention? The answer is it's been a very long time since it's happened, and the likelihood of it happening again in an era where we are circulating globally and therefore we all have natural immunity to the diseases that we tend to encounter at some level or another, the chances that we encounter something that requires us to, put the world on pause and deploy a vaccine at lightning pace are low. I would also point out that, yes, in one sense, the mRNA platform solves a question, a pharmacological question, in that it can be deployed very rapidly. On the other hand, it carries a defect in its heart even beyond the tendency to trigger the immune system to attack your own tissues, and that is that the very nature of the platform requires the presentation of a very narrow antigenic set, which means that the viruses that we are confronting have a relatively easy problem to solve evolutionarily. Unlike natural immunity, where you become immune to an entire virus, your immunity to a single antigen is something that evolution can easily sidestep. So what we tend to do with a narrowly targeted platform like mRNA is drive the evolution of the virus, which may even prolong a pandemic.